Starts Mike.
Yeah.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take roll call, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Corey Code,
Here.
Mary Daring,
Here.
Tom Hilbert,
Here.
Lynn Foley. Here. Norm Foley,
Here.
Michelle Woodruff,
Here.
Matt Rodolsky.
And he did not email me about being absent. Okay, adoption of agenda. I'll make the motion.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed. Public meeting participation rules, please wait for the chair to acknowledge you before you speak. 1, to begin by stating your name and address. 3, give us your comments, opinions, or questions on an issue being discussed. 4, to ensure that everyone has time to speak. We can address other items on the agenda. We may limit individual speaking time to 5 minutes. If time permits, we may allow you one additional time period to provide new information. 5, please be respectful of the planning commission applicant and your neighbors. Thank you for attending. Tom Hilbert, Chair. Okay. Correspondence.
Approval of minutes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, approval of minutes.
Move to approve the minutes from the June 13th meeting.
All support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. Minutes approved. Okay, public comment. I believe there's anybody here. You guys are with the case, right? Okay. Correspondence. Are we this would be counted as the correspondence, Glenn, or is this?
Well, I came after the agenda
Okay.
was completed,
Okay,
so,
Is that the letter from him?
yeah.
Yeah, so with the correspondence, Nathan Skibby supervisor, with the correspondence, it is actually I believe you have 2 pieces of paper.
Yes.
One is a signature line for this evening's case, and the second being additional language of assurance from the township to BTD Holdings as to clarification as to the separation distance. Everything's in agreement at this point in time, so you could actually add it to the agenda and then receive and file both pieces, but they are contingent to this hearing because through the cannabis process at the planning commission level, and then as it was passed to the board, the focus was really talked about on terms of separation distances from cannabis to what we determined. And no discussion was really taking place of what is the process after the fact of a marijuana licensure. What if a daycare wants to be within? After voluminous discussion with both the Ellsworths, Kevin Pauley, Denise Klein, and Tim Golden, township attorney, the interpretation was that it was a result of tonight's case is that the process by our zoning ordinance is that any applicant that is on the cannabis list, being churches, student daycare would be an example, that they would have to follow the same format, but actually in inverse of getting a signed off release to be within that separation distance. So this is one of those unforeseen technicalities because we were more focused of keeping cannabis away from established enterprises. Now with timelines and having a daycare now and it's I think I did it on our database and it's 680 linear feet. So it was still within that 750 that the ordinance suggested. So tonight's business is those two pieces of correspondence. Kevin Beebe, representative and president owner of BDT Holdings, otherwise being the first cannabis dispensary. And the township are in agreement with all securities put in place with the letters. And so at this point in time, the only business I believe that really needs to be conducted because everything's been taken care of on the township and on the owner of the cannabis business side would be a signature from Mr. Ellsworth, and they will move forward. They have, as Ms. Pauley and Mr. Pauley both know, the process then goes into the state and they're going to have some dealings to get that building up. But the biggest issue was these are things that you don't really think about in zoning until there's a case. Luckily, there was enough language in our zoning that really pretty much compelled a ladder business to go, but inverse through the process. And so that's really what it is. It defines that an established business with a separation distance from this style business is at 750 feet. If a different daycare or one of the other listed businesses or organizations would like to buy and be within that 750 feet moving forward, that's what they're going to have to follow the same process of having this use addressed by the planning commission to defeat the separation. Otherwise, the board could always, under a recommendation or guidance from the planning commission, give consideration to that separation distance or any other potential procedures to streamline this. So, thank you.
So we want to introduce this to our agenda. Is that make a motion to?
Add it, like.
Add it. Yes,
How-
yes.
I'll support that. Or do I have to make that motion?
You can make
I
it.
make that motion.
Okay.
Support.
Okay, and Norm supports it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we'll. New business is the case. Case P 0822, Michelle Ellsworth requests a review for proposed child care facility and general business B2 zoning at 2578 US 23 South, parcel number 018-103-000-18900 in accordance with the requirements of the section 743B12 of the Charter Township of Alpena zoning ordinance. The planning commission may grant a reduction in required 750-foot separation distance between the applicant's proposed child care facility and a previously approved medical marijuana facility, adult use marijuana establishment, that it will be located closer than 750 feet from the child care facility. Section 743-B-12 of the zoning ordinance provides that medical marijuana and adult use marijuana establishment shall be located within 750 feet of any building used for child care purposes, unless the planning commission finds that certain criteria specified in the zoning ordinance have been satisfied and that a reduction in the required separation distance is warranted. The planning commission will consider whether to grant such a reduction during this meeting. This meeting is open to the public, and our written comments may be sent in prior to the meeting. And there was no written comments besides the two pieces of correspondence that we made entered into the agenda. Okay, so we need a motion to open. No,
There's no public hearing.
no public hearing. Okay. And any questions of? Are we gonna, do we want to go through this or how?
I just have a question. Basically, what we are doing here, if this board is approving them to do their establishment under 750 feet, that's all we're doing.
Correct.
Yes, we're not telling them how to do the establishment or anything. They have to do that with the state of Michigan and.
Okay.
So does anybody have any questions or?
You said, I'm sorry, you said it was 680 feet.
When I did, that is not, I mean, when I use the data overlay of GIS and RPSNA software, which I have to always give the precursor, that is not an exact scale. But yeah, it was already, was knocking on 7.
The only, what building is it? I'm just trying to figure out which one it was,
The
but
media, it used to be the DMC, it was a rehabilitation.
That's what I thought it was.
fund,
Okay.
first side of Kip Miller's.
Right
Yep.
next to Capella.
And I
that's not
think
750 feet.
Dr. Risto's office before that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so,
Frank,
the eye doctor, yeah, well, I went to.
Alan Frank was it.
The chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a chiropractor. I can't believe that's not 750 feet, but okay. I mean, it does seem like a lot further when you gotta walk it. Does the state give you guys, did they have any kind of guidance for you?
She didn't. Nothing. Like,
That was my only question. Of course, of course.
But there's like 5 parcels in between. isn't
Yeah.
there? That's what I thought.
Gambles.
Yeah,
Gas station.
Campbell's, Overhead door,
Yeah.
Bracken.
Howdy folks. Game.
I guess my only question is there, to have a store that sells alcohol, is there a requirement for them to be a certain distance from a daycare or anything? There's not?
It's it was a determination of the ordinance 142, or actually, sorry, which, I'm trying to remember. That was adopted by the board. The board adopted with the stipulation of an increase from 500 feet to 750. That is our ordinance as a local municipality. The state and Laura, in terms of license, don't care. It comes down to, this is the trickle down from state in terms of ordinance and zone. But we set a precedent, so that was a discussion, both at the planning commission and at the board. I think the newness of cannabis in a retail market hasn't really been digested fully, and so it's looked at as an emerging market, as many are, and it doesn't have the same comfort level as the Fuji Garants or any other known.
Yeah.
retail.
Gotcha.
Regarding the 750 feet in marijuana, so we do something that the church. Notification goes to 300 feet.
We have 300 foot radius.
Ceiling building within the distance of that. The question is, the building between 750 feet from that, how come all the buildings at that distance aren't notified? If they're held,
Question.
I guess only because we only don't notify within 300 feet. I don't know that.
that's state law.
So
Yeah.
it's part of the 1997 Planning and Zoning Enabling Act, that it's mandatory at 300 feet. To extend it, with the board could extend it as an amendment to ordinance 142, which is our current zoning ordinance. And that's actually a conversation that we're waiting to hear back from the state. So
I think it would be good. You know, if it's gonna affect the building, 750 feet.
Then have
But I think that
Because Article 7-712D says that prior to granting waiver, signed statement shall be received from each impacted property. But Tim said that in
Yeah.
this case, no,
the impacted property would be
their,
the only.
it would be the, actually, the
Potentially
marijuana
free.
business is the impacted property because they were there before you guys. Part of that, yeah.
we were. And I don't know how this all happened. This is the argument that we've been having. We purchased the building, everybody knew we were buying the building, everybody in town was buying it. We were given the okay on April 26th. Here. That everything was good. Anything came in after us, these were all the words that were said, they would have to be within 750 feet. All of a sudden, when we call for a building inspection on a building, Unfortunately, you're. gonna have to
Mhm.
get that when you wash it. I didn't know anything about it. We were all understanding all of it.
Well,
Actually.
I mean, we did, as the planning commission, we didn't know you owned the building or.
No, and actually, as a representative and in the discussions along with Mr. Pauly for months on end, we did have numerous conversations with the Ellsworth. Mr. Pauly himself took it upon himself to actually look at not only this property, but a different location as a potential. Through this entire process, which was started in April, maybe even before that. Because the reason that we're here is because this is the appropriate thing to do.
I agree.
I don't want to perpetuate an argument. The point of the matter is that there was no site plan conducted, no paperwork was filed. Now we're here, we've cleaned this up. And we're moving forward because that is the best way.
Okay, I guess we're looking at it as that the marijuana facility had a permit before you guys had your permit. So I mean, what? You know, that
I
as,
didn't get the permit, why would we put that?
well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And that's,
I'm okay.
okay. So and the marijuana facility, the marijuana facility. People are obviously okay. They wrote a letter, signed off on it. And so no, it's go ahead.
Like to make a motion that we approve this dispute between the footage and that we have the paperwork to back it up from the marijuana facility. At whatever the distance of feet is, I don't know what it is, but
I would just say less than 750.
that's 750 feet that we approve this.
Support that.
Corey,
Support, thank you.
and you're gonna do that as son.
Yeah, let's do this a roll call. Corey? Vote,
Yes.
Sarah Daring,
Yes.
Tom Hilbert,
All right,
Lynn Polly? Yes. Norm Foley?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
motion approved.
And then all you'll need is Mr. Ellsworth or Mrs. Ellsworth's signature on the copy that Mr. Beebe had signed. I think, did you make copies of that? The
Yeah,
signature?
they've got it right there.
Okay, so on which one? This one?
Yeah, they have to sign that one.
Yeah, they had to sign the bottom and then.
Then I'll make-
copy.
Okay, well, you just got printed name Kevin Beebe. You don't have their name on it.
I
He
didn't
signed it
I didn't
electronic.
make that form. Yeah.
He
So
signed it electronically and sent it.
Okay,
So
so they're gonna sign that.
electronic signatures are now compatible.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So I just want to know that they're gonna sign this one.
Yes, the Ellsworth would sign.
Okay, so whoever is gonna sign for you.
Well,
guys,
I would think it would need to be the same person who filed the permit, so I think that's probably Michelle.
is that Michelle?
Sorry.
Yeah,
That's who's on
I guess
Okay.
sign under,
We're
Kevin.
above printed name there.
No, I mean, if you
Yes,
want,
here's-
you can vote. Yeah, they can both sign it.
okay, that's fine with me.
Thank you.
Great, there's a big need for town. Yes,
Yeah, especially that side of town. Thanks for doing something out there. If you could just get a gas station out there, a different one, that'd be great, or an ATM.
and this third check here.
Oh, a restaurant would be a dream.
The, how's the, old Dunkin' Donuts? Is that any progress?
Nothing.
Been going like 10 years.
It's just an eyesore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coney Island. But do we need another Coney Island type person?
Well, we're not, and I guess not, because we're not getting one.
No.
And the guy's been working on it 10 years,
Yeah. At least,
yeah,
an eyesore.
and with all permits for 8 of those 10 till.
Oh,
Oh, Kevin asked them, yeah. Okay. Anything else? That's sufficient for the,
Actually, Nathan, you
yes.
can go on.
I will, your case, that would include.
yes, that will conclude. You guys can stay and listen, or you can leave, whatever you want to do.
No.
It's a public meeting.
Yes. Okay, good.
Go ahead.
Nick.
Yes, so,
Can I say one thing?
oh, yeah, sorry, Mr.
Thank you, folks, for wanting to put your business and establishment, especially childcare in our community and South Bay. Thank you.
Most definitely. So a couple different items. One, and they're all pretty well correlated to a similar theme. That being environmental stewardship and conservation, and how to look at it in anticipation as we get ready, especially this commission, looking at the rec plan and what's really important to our natural features, getting those kind of conversations, getting those thoughts kind of invoked. Couple different things as I would like to proceed. One, I'm working with Huron Pines, an environmental not-for-profit, on several different fronts, from land acquisition to other various partnerships, one of which is a pledge. It's called the Lake Huron Forever Pledge. It's on our agenda to be lightly discussed, but the reason I want to discuss it here is that, and I'll have the emails forward, if I don't know if I already forwarded to them or not, but it's basically a community perspective of what's important to us environmentally. First city in the entire state of Michigan to actually take this pledge was Augury. They beat us to the punch. And they look at things like stormwater. What do you do with stormwater? And that's where I have actually sent an email, including Chairman Hilberg, David Rabidow, various other shareholders, in starting and looking at having this conversation. The reason I bring it to this commission is because there is an interlaced connectivity to our rec plan and our master plan that are going to be on your horizon. So this may be a nice light California mixer to get the things going in the right direction. So this talks about environmental impacts, but it also affords the Charter Township of Alpena a plethora of opportunities in terms of funding mechanisms. And they're part of this pledge is also a very large educational component. So I've included like David Rabidow, our superintendent, Dr. McMasters from ACC, both of their facilities managers, looking to see who's the point of contact, because the educational component, like they did in Augury, is use rain gardens to do some initial filtration of stormwater runoff. There's a lot of small projects. So that's one thing. The reason I bring this is there may be an opportunity where we do a joint meeting to really discuss it. I haven't really come to a conclusion upon that topic of a joint meeting having any major significance, but it could be part of a workshop, maybe for an agenda item shortcoming. I think that might work best. Tied to that, but yet a little different, is an opportunity through Eagle that was forwarded on to us from our great friend Denise Klein in NEMCOG. And it is the Coastal Leadership Academy. It's part of a planning and zoning module. So there again, it's another mechanism that we're especially with this one, that we're afforded at no cost, and it's actually a local exercise. I was going to register, but then it said a team. So teams are 2 to 6 people. So I've already invited Lynn, because I want to have Lynn have some insight through this process. But I'm looking for participation to be a team member. And so I just wanted to throw this out, because it's only 2 meetings, one being Thursday, September 29th And it's a Zoom meeting. That one is from 9:30 to 12, which is an arduous length for a Zoom meeting. The second part is actually October 6th, and it's actually here in town at the NOAA at the Heritage Center. So I will, did you forward this to all the members?
Yes, it is.
The CLA. So I guess the reason I bring this is if there's anybody that could actually or wants to be part of this team and kind of learn more about environmental topics, by all means, let me know because I'll register you and then we can continue this. So it's twofold, but really there's one umbrella. It's how do we look as a coastal community? How do we look at our coastal resilience? And there is an amazing overlap with how we look at zoning when we start talking about stormwater and other environmental impacts and how we should be looking at things. So this was just informational. Let me know who would like to, if they have the ability to be part of the team as we move forward. Yes, Trustee Paul.
I did read all that information that you faxed over. It's very interesting. And this also ties in with our capital improvement plan.
It most definitely does.
Yeah,
And if I didn't mention
just a
before,
sign.
especially with this pledge, there are, I think, earmarked, and I'm not saying million, but billions of dollars that are earmarked. And so let's look downstream because we have more coastline than any other municipality in the region. So
We do.
Sign me up, but have you reached out to Meg Schwartz as well?
she's already part of it.
Is she already part? I'm making sure, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
because she would be an incredible conduit with
Yeah.
this. I just want to
No,
make sure it
I'm sure
matches.
she's gonna be representing Nemi Gleesy
Okay,
at some
cool.
point. Yeah, I mean, this is something I've been involved in for 20 years, but I can't do it. And it's hard for me just to try to trickle it down to anybody else. So to have some proper involvement. And these are things that our kids and our grandchildren are gonna see the effect of. So just let me know. But we'll, maybe I'll talk with Chair Hilberg, maybe if we don't have a case, instead of canceling meeting, maybe part of our workshop could actually be having a well-rounded and getting this kicked off. And I could probably maybe ask if there's any participation from the board level so that we're all on the same page and looking at what our concerns are. One being, to me, hydroelectric facilities. Every week we're getting letters from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And it doesn't paint the best picture. So how do we look at our zoning if we don't have 3 dams on the Thunder Bay River?
Well, if we don't have engagement in the conversation, that's the bigger piece of it.
Exactly.
That's,
So this is getting, I have Jeff Gray involved in this roundtable. So I'm pulling in as many shareholders. So if there's gaps that I haven't thought about outside of just a citizenry or group, which are welcome to attend, I'm just trying to paint a good full picture on behalf of the Charter Township, and especially want to present it to the Planning Commission members because this will inherently interlink next year as we start moving forward, looking at redoing our master and our rec plan. So just let me know. I have a couple hands, but just shoot Lynn an email if you're available. I know it's during the day and pretty much all day on the second one, but it would be fascinating. So as always, if there's any deficiencies in materials that you guys need, whether it is a hard copy of any document, please let Lynn or I know. We'll print it off. And as I start seeing any potentials for educational opportunities, I always pass them along too. So sign up, do whatever you can. I appreciate everybody's time.
thanks, Dave.
Thank you. So, does anybody want Lynn to print these?
I have mine.
I have my own.
You got it? Oh, so you're good? Larry? Good. All
Leave it on the phone.
right. Anything else? You're good, Nathan?
I gave my spiel.
Okay. We're good, Lynn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Larry,
There.
all in favor?
Hi.
Okay.
Opposed? We need adjourned.